Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Challenge Miami. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Challenge North America, City Bikes, Veneto, the Challenge Athletes Foundation, Florida Dairy Farmers, and Wahoo. Our next guest, Jennifer Kenney, racing tomorrow in, it's calm conditions and flat and fast. And it's brutal out there, right?
It's absolutely brutal, yes. The wind is crazy.
And it's not just your super speedway like we saw in Daytona.
Yeah.
They added the road course.
They sure did. Yep. It's definitely a little technical, and you have to be focused and you have to be on your game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout.
Yep.
And you only have, a lot of races you go to, you have 3, 4, 5 good pros. Here there's 30.
At least.
Which is pretty fun, right?
Very fun.
For someone like yourself who has a real job, right? You're a speech language pathologist.
That's right.
And this is your side hustle.
Yep.
I bet it keeps it fun, right? Being able to do both.
It does. Yeah, it keeps it fun. There's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
But to be able to come here, yeah, like you said, with the girls that are on the list.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like I'm at a world championship.
That's so funny because you get it sort of reminds me of the dream team in basketball where some of the players from the other countries were like asking for autographs and photos during the game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Excuse me, Heather, can we get a little photo, a selfie right before the start here?
I'm back at the hotel walking through the lobby. I'm like,
I know, right? Hey,
Yeah.
Jan Frodeno. When we started the show this morning, there's Jan Frodeno doing pickups behind us on the track, right?
Yeah.
Just doing sprints, and I'm
Sure.
like, oh my God, he's amazing.
It's
so
fantastic.
what got you? You're a mom,
Yes.
right? And you started training for tries in 2015, working from home. Talk a little bit about what got you into the sport and got you to the point where you wanted to be a pro.
Sure. So you want to know how I got into the sport?
Yeah.
A neighbor egged me on.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's the usual.
It's perfect.
I would
Yeah.
kick your butt if you did this. That type of thing?
Yep. I was a swimmer my
Yeah.
whole life. I went to college for swimming, and we were at the pool one day, and this neighbor's a triathlete, and he's like, "Oh, you should totally do an Ironman." And I looked at him, Bob, and I was like, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
I was like, "No way." And then I thought later on that night, I was like, "Oh, maybe
Well, if he can do it,
I'll
come
try
on.
it out."
Yeah.
And I don't know. I had no intentions. If anything, like I was just, like you said, having fun. Like,
Yeah.
And then I actually qualified to be a pro, and I didn't even know. My coach was like, "I'll talk to you tomorrow when you digest everything that just happened." And he told me, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Where was that?
That was at Eagle Man
Yeah.
back in 2016.
Okay.
But my dream at that point was to go to Kona.
Of course.
And I'm like, if I take my pro card, I'm not going to Kona. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it was just, so I stuck with it as an amateur, went to Kona and did all of that. And then right after Kona is when I decided, I qualified again in Chattanooga and thought, you know what?
I'm going
now
pro.
I'm going to do it. Now I'm going
I've
to do
done
it.
my one as
Yeah,
age grouper, and
yeah.
now I'm going to go and
Yeah.
What was the difference? Because a lot of times age groupers are like, it's the same course. Is it really that? My times aren't that different. It's
Yep.
different.
Oh, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different world, and it's a good different world, though. I think the biggest surprise that I had was that everybody cheers everybody on. Like, everybody supports everybody. Danielle Lewis, thanks, Danielle, gave me a ride over here today. Like,
Yes.
just everybody supports everybody, and that's it's kind of like a team effort. And even
Yeah.
when you're out there on the course,
Right.
the girls are supportive, and it's good sportsmanship and things like that. So I find it to be more of like a little bit of a family
Yes.
versus back in the age group world, it was a little bit different.
You know what's interesting to me is at the end of the day, it's you against you, and it's you against the course.
That's right.
Right? The other people are there,
Yep.
but they're doing the same battle you are.
Yep.
And if they beat you, they beat you. And that, to a certain degree, because it's not ITU racing, where it's so strategic,
Yeah.
sitting in and who does the least work. For the most part, when you have a course with a 20-meter draft rule, best person usually is going to win this thing unless they crash out or something.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you just go and do your own race.
That's honestly my goal for this race is, this is my first race since I think 2019. I
Yeah.
had a bad crash, and then 2020 was just a wash, I guess, for everybody.
Right.
And so that's my goal. Yeah, to stay within myself. It's going to be fun.
So you've done 2 fulls, 7 halves. That's what you did in the first couple of years. You have 2 teenagers.
I do.
They brought you to school for show and tell, or what the hell is it?
No, I'm lucky that they think I'm okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they could be like, oh my, that's my mom on the
Mom.
trainer at the soccer game.
Yeah,
What the hell?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Or I actually, my kids swim for the same. Their coach and the team that they swim for, USA Swimming, is actually my master's coach.
Oh my God.
And so I'm at the pool. We're at the pool all the time. But yeah, it's great. So
wait. So can you outswim your kids or no?
So that's a really good question, Bob. My 13-year-old boy, he was actually a North Carolina state champ in the 100 back when he was 10.
Wow.
So he's 13 now, and he can outswim me.
Oh yeah.
He can outswim me. My 16-year-old daughter, she and we're close. We could have a good race, but she doesn't want to race me.
I was going to say,
She's like,
that's probably not fun.
She's like, no, I don't want to race you, Mom.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she loses either way. Oh, I beat my mom, or
right.
I lost to my mom. There's you can't win.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, no, years ago, actually it's 40 years, 1981 Ironman, I met this 14-year-old kid named Robin Tane during that week of the race. We became buddies. Turns out we're running together towards the end of the race.
No way.
And I'm thinking to myself, if I outkick him, I'm the idiot who outsprinted a 14-year-old, right? Because 14-year-olds were allowed to race back then. And if I lose to him, any way you looked at it, I lost. And then while I'm thinking about this, the kid's in a different zip code and running away from it. So,
Oh, no.
so I didn't have to worry about
There
making
you
it.
go.
Either way, I lost. So yeah.
Decision was made for you.
Are your kids interested in this crazy sport?
They
or
love it. Yeah.
They do. They're into it too.
Well, they've done
They'd
a couple
like it for you.
tries.
They
They
think-
like it for me. Yeah, they're
Okay.
such supporters, and they're really great about it. It's really fun.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Now, what would you be happy with here? This is probably the best field you've ever raced against.
Oh yeah, ever.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What would I be happy with? Well, I want to stay within myself. I want to have my race focus on, especially in a course like this. You can really get caught up in
God.
circles, watching people go by and whatnot. But I want to stay within myself. I want to have fun. This is I feel so honored to be able to be part of this field.
Yes.
I want to have fun. I want to smile, and I want to push myself.
Right.
See what's happening with my training and see where I'm at to kind of get ready for the next
So
thing.
when you're racing, are the kids following you?
Yeah.
They do?
They follow. Yep, my
Oh,
parents.
yeah.
They're with my parents. They've got it all on
They've got
their
the big
face. They're
screen
all ready
up
to
and
go.
the whole
Yeah.
bit. They're
oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, they're really supportive.
Are they putting out a little social on, hey, my mom,
Yeah.
she's in third place. She's kicking ass. This
Oh
is
no,
the
no,
coolest."
she's not.
No, she's not. Oh my God! What the heck? She's side by side with Heather Jackson. This is the best thing ever. What is it about when you made the decision to go pro? And what was the reaction in the family? Just because it's a commitment.
Yeah, it's a commitment. And it was a step of a little bit of fear, a little bit of nervousness, but
Right.
excitement. No, it was supportive. It was really supportive. Everybody was like, absolutely do it. Why not? What do you have to lose?
Got nothing to lose.
Nothing
right?
to lose. And if anything, I get to show the kids like, hey, listen, you work hard, put your mind to things. You can do whatever you want.
And wait a second. Did you just turn 45?
My birthday was yesterday.
Oh my God. 45 years old.
45. Do I win? Am I the oldest one here?
I think so. I think you were there. And that bike crash that you had back in, was that at Eagleman? No.
Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You finished the bike, but then
I
it was
did.
on to the ER.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. How long did it take to come back from that?
Even though it was just a crash, I don't know, like maybe because I'm 45, when you go down, it was hard. It took me a while, months and months and months.
Little kids on skateboards can do double endos
Yes.
and be up like, oh, I'm rubber man.
Sure.
It's no big deal. Mm-hmm. But we stub a toe and
it's over for like
it's
months.
Over. Yeah, for forever and ever. Now, on the little note you sent to me, you said, okay, questions for Bob.
Questions for Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, I have them. I can't
you
help
are
it.
the first one ever to say you
Really?
had questions for me. Yes.
Oh, well, I just think I remember meeting you when I was in Kona in 2017, and so I'm really excited just to see you face to face and chat with you.
thank you.
Thanks so much for letting me be here. But okay, so Muddy Buddy. I'm like so interested about this because, of course, the first thing, because I'm a sugaraholic, the first thing that comes to mind is the Muddy Buddies checks in the store,
Right,
and so
which I actually brought in as a sponsor for my series. So
No
Muddy
way.
Buddy was this interesting story. So back in the day, they used to have a trail race outside of San Diego, and it was called Ride and Tie. And it was two people on a horse. And it was a 28-mile race where you would start on the horse, ride 3 or 4 miles, tie the horse to a tree, start running, and I would run up, get on the horse, and ride by you. I had never ridden a horse before, and a guy asked me to come do this. This is actually in 1981, 40 years ago. And so I went out the week before to learn how to ride this horse. The horse's name was Shasta, and he went like this, he went left, he went like that, he went right. It seemed like pretty easy, but they didn't tell me they started the race with a shotgun. So by the time I got to my horse at mile 4, his name wasn't Shasta anymore, it was Lightning. And he's like pawing the sky, and snot coming out of both nostrils, and I'm like, I got to get on this thing. So I get on him, and he's jumping rocks, and he's careless. So we get to about mile 20, and at mile 20 I've ridden a total of 3 and run 17 miles, and at that point I'm thinking, the horse has got to be tired.
Yeah.
So I get to mile 20, and they're loading my horse into the back of this little horsey corral, and I'm like, where's he going? And they're like, oh, his hooves are sore. I'm like, his hooves are sore? I've run 17 miles. What the hell am I supposed to do? So I ran the last 8 miles, and the whole time in my head I'm thinking, this is a great concept. I got to lose the horse. So when I came home from that, I started putting on these things on the holidays, on Thanksgiving, called a ride and tie with mountain bikes hadn't been invented yet, butt bikes. 2 people, and so Scott Tinley, Scott Molina, all the guys came out because everybody was fit from Ironman, but nobody wanted to do anything at Thanksgiving,
Right.
that was that was really competitive. So we hid stuffed animals on the course, and it was just a total joke. We did them. I was in a turkey outfit, and we had metal, tinfoil award belts made, like championship belts for wrestling. And what happened is that thing just kept growing. All of a sudden, I'm getting like 150 teams showing up on Thanksgiving and Easter, and I'm in a bunny suit. So when I owned Competitor Magazine at the time, and the president of Brooks Shoes, we were trying to sell him advertising in the magazine. He says, hey, I don't have dollars for advertising, but if you had an event of some sort, I would get behind that. I'm like, okay, we've got this thing, 2 people and a mountain bike. We'll call it Muddy Buddy, and we'll add some obstacles to it, including mud pits. And we grew the thing to 18 events and 40,000 participants from a stupid horse out in the middle of nowhere. So
amazing.
That was Muddy Buddy, and we did it for, when I sold the company in 2008, we had, first time, we had 7 Muddy Buddies, and we grew it to 18 and 40,000 participants by 2012 when we sold it again. And that was sort of a predecessor of Spartan Race and Tough Mudder. Eventually, a competitor group closed that down because they owned all the rock and rolls, which drew a few more people.
Wow, that's incredible.
That was the sort of the history. It was a long-winded answer, but that
No,
was
it's a
Muddy
really
Buddy.
good story.
Yeah,
Great story.
So that was Muddy Buddy, and that was so much fun. And I could incorporate Challenge Athletes Foundation because we had Challenge Athletes participating, so that able-bodied folks could actually see our athletes in action. And it was really, really fun.
I love it. It's great stuff.
Our
You're doing
sport
good
changes
things.
lives.
It does.
In a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and you're a big part of it.
Well, we try.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, so great to get to meet you.
You too, Bob.
Have a great time. It's sort of tomorrow, sort of Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just had a birthday, and you got your
Yes.
kids watching at home,
Yeah.
and that's the
gonna be great.
coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
You love it.
Thank you.
And try not to ask for autographs during the race.
Do it after?
After, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what?
Or before.
They might be asking you. That would be
Wouldn't
the best.
that be the best?
That would be the best. Jen Kenney has been our guest, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This is Breakfast with Bob from Challenge Miami. Hold on. We will be right back.